So like I said, this unicursal at the end of the day could mean a big decline um, overnight or throughout the day, and that kind of like is the end of it. But I think probably yesterday I thought more so it would be overnight, and here we go. We have this huge decline. I mean, we kind of saw this. What do you want to call it? Move through resistance briefly, followed by a full retracement of that move, and then we went further, which is the surprise. But in any case, there was this Ace of Wands opportunity here. In the midst of that, that probably was a better opportunity, like from the standpoint of premium or discount. In the case, it would be discount upon purchasing a put here, but it ended up being pretty good opportunity there. Then we have this wealth card here. What I sense happening is we probably go to the 80 mark on RSI. Hey, thanks, Sean. You too, dude. Hey, B. Seriously. Trade. Unbelievable. It's like I gotta do it on this chart first. There we go. It only took like an hour for me to open up an SPC chart. My God, E-Trade. Unbelievable, this freaking company. Why do I keep using them? Because I've been using them since the year 2000 when they were the only online broker. And, you know, it's like learning and going to another broker. It's almost like learning. I have to learn everything again. And I don't have time for that right now. SPC for the rest of the week. See this, I remember this reading, this area right here where we have a low correlation is really tricky, guys. I remember speaking with somebody about it and saying, I know this is a pivot point here on the 13th. My sense is that it's a low, but it also has a lot of indications of being a high. Like, there's things that would indicate it could be a high as well. So I'm going with low because that's the stronger sense, but it is a little tricky, guys, so be careful here. it's kind of like counter of what the S&P 500 is doing over March. It looks like. Is it? Let me make sure. Yeah, see, we have a high and a low here. And SPC, we have a low. And the high is sort of hard to determine where. Probably here on the 28th. So I would say tomorrow's looking like a bearish price swings kind of day. There's advisement here at the end of the day not to do what you're thinking to do. That's what this is kind of like. Heed this rune right here is sort of like heed adverse information. So like information that's contrary to what you want to what you think right now should be listened to. There's a hangman in there on the 8th, meaning that there is a bit of a rally because the hangman is the halting of a rally marked by a sharp decline. So there has to be a little bit of a rally in there, probably overnight, and then notable decline. I think on the 9th we're probably higher than where we are on the 7th, but it's the prudence card today, so I really advise not to place any trades today. Between it being the prudence card and it being the this ruin in this position, I'm not advised to trade SPCE today. The next real good trade is on the 9th. My sense is that it's probably from a resistance level that's higher than the price level that we're at now, and it would be like open a short position over the weekend into a low on the 13th, where you close that position, and then there's a day trade there on the 13th. If you have the paid version of SPC, then I've gone through all of this stuff already. You got it when you got the SPC March reading almost a month ago. Just making that clear to people, like you could have all of this trade information. All you got to do is go here, SO Meta Forecasts on our Services tab. Click here for your forecast. Type in SPCE and add to cart purchase. It really helps support the channel. It's supposed to be a subscription, but we're not able to take recurring payments yet. So really, it's like a one-time payment with the intent to continue paying, and we send you an email to remind you. But this is a really great way to support the channel and help us out and help us grow. With that said, I guess it's probably a good time for me to mention this. So like, I noticed there's certain people that haven't been around. I'm not going to name names or anything because, like I said, I don't hunt people down for the rule of karma. You can do it or you can't, or you don't, and you learn the hard way. But that doesn't mean that I have to like spend my energy on people that aren't following the rule of karma, right? And I see that there were people here in this channel every single day asking a bunch of questions until such time that I decided only to focus on readings that we've already done, and then lo and behold, they disappeared. If you're wondering why that happened, guys, you're kind of like, oh man, I wish I could ask this question. You have this situation. You have somebody not following the rule of karma to thank for that, because it was getting out of hand. Like, I spend a ton of energy, a ton of time. Like, it takes mental discipline, physical discipline. It requires me to have a specific sleep schedule, not to drink, not to do like any withhold from sex. I mean, there's a million different things that I do in order to be at this vibrational frequency. So when you think about it like that, and you come onto the channel, and you're not providing the 5% back to the channel and paying it forward, you're just a vampire. That's what you are. So I could care less if you're here or not. I love helping people. I have no problem answering questions, but like, I'm not gonna single somebody out, and I'm not gonna spend my energy on a vampire. Like, that's literally what that person is. The whole purpose of this channel is to follow that that rule of karma, right? I don't have to put this information on here. I sure as hell don't have to put it on here for free. I'm doing it for a specific reason. And if you fail to follow the rule of karma, you fail to follow through on your end of the bargain. And you will see I will lose interest in paying attention to your requests. It's just how it goes. So I just want to put that out there because it's kind of annoying to see somebody here every single day, and then when I stop doing something for free because it's I feel like I'm being used, they disappear. Like, that's vampiric, my friends. So I just wanted to put that spiel out there because I sensed somebody thinking about the same topic prior to me getting onto the channel. I sensed somebody, probably the individual that I'm speaking of, was annoyed. They were annoyed that oh man, I wish I could ask him this question. Well, you could have, but you failed to follow the rule of karma, like repeatedly. Like I don't know how many questions about investments I've answered for the individual, but it's a lot, more than a handful. Not once did I see a rule of karma come through. So if you're wondering, that's what that's about, my friends. So with that said, guys, it looks like this move here at the end of the day, right, we're near overbought territory on RSI. We'll probably turn around. We might see it a little bit higher, but we'll probably turn around again here because it's a decline around the close. We're now at like 13 minutes left. Yeah, so this unicursal, I think, was a combo. Like I said yesterday, it could indicate two things: either a big decline throughout the day, leading to like a notable bottom here, or it could indicate like a big decline after the close overnight, or both. And I think in this case, it's probably both. We have like a little bit of a crest or peak here at the end of the day, but I think we probably saw that right here at the 200-day moving average. 12 minutes left. Yeah, and we'll probably decline with increasing momentum from here into the close. This level, 400 level, is important. Let's see, is that an ace of swords? Yeah, that's an ace of swords. So see, we have ace of swords after the close. Interesting. So that peak there was like a unicursal opportunity to position oneself for another drop. Normally, I'd say with the happiness card that we'd open higher and then sell into a lower position, but it's nullified, so all bets are off. My sense is based purely on this double X and this unicursal here at the end of the day. That what is going on here? That this is an opportunity and we have a drop overnight. Let me see. Yeah, see, we've got a low correlator here on the 8th, so we should see a lower price level tomorrow. Remember, this throughout the weeks into the 14th, we would see a sideways fluctuating rally. So this is probably going to be a pretty big move here on the 10th to the upside. And you can see, remember I was speaking about the Hierophant could represent like the Fed chair. It's usually Congress, but it could be, the Hierophant is like representational of a hey Carolyn, it's representational of a like a leader that's less known and less often focused upon, less often highlighted. In that case, it could have been Bernanke, and we were actually speaking about on a different reading. I think it was the MGM reading, that there was correlations to the Hierophant on the 7th as well. So that's pretty interesting to see. Yeah, it's private. Thank you, Sean. Private sessions are definitely a great way to support the channel as well. So for all those that just hopped on, I'll recap everything that we discussed thus far. I was talking about this SPC reading. V had asked about what I see for SPC throughout the rest of the week. Sorry, guys. Just looking for something. Double checking for something. What's the case? That's a reason for a high, not a low. Interesting. This is a really tricky day, guys. I might be off on the 13th. I have a higher probability of being off here on the 12th, 13th in this SPCE March reading than I would say normal. Doesn't mean I'm wrong, but there's a higher probability because I'm getting some real conflicting data, or not data, but like conflicting energies, and it is counter to the trend of SPC, or excuse me, of SPY. But in any case, so we were discussing this trade, and I was advising against placing a trade with SPCE today. There's a lot indicating not to place a trade today on the 7th. The prudence card, I try to avoid trading, and then this ruin in this position also indicates heed adverse information. So like information that's contrary to what one's expectations are. So really, it's like when you see this black circle, it's like surrounding a ruin. It's like a avoid trading indication for the most part. See, here's another one. Don't chase the rally. It's like an avoid trading. Avoid doing what you're thinking of doing at this moment. So I advised against trading, and then the next good trade for SPCE is here on the 9th. It looks like at a resistance level, probably midday, to open up a short position. In the midst of a move higher. So this resistance level here is probably higher than the price levels that we see today and probably tomorrow. Not necessarily higher than the 6th though. In any case, so it's short position, and then you'd close that short position on the 13th. There's a day trade on the 13th as well. And then I went and discussed how if you were supporting the SPC reading, if this SPC reading is relevant for you, there's SPC. You could support the channel here by typing in SPC and purchasing the recurring $111 subscription. It really comes out to like $30 an hour based on the work that I'm doing, and that's like nothing considering what the information is. But this is really a great way to support the channel. And then that brought me to my other point, which I just want to really get out there, guys. It's not like a fun. It's not like a fun topic. I don't really like to discuss it very often, but I want to reiterate it because I spoke of it earlier and there was very few people on. Is that if you feel as though I've kind of stopped being receptive to your questions, chances are it's because you're one of the people constantly asking questions, but yet I have not seen a rule of karma, like the rule of karma followed once. That to me, like, what I do here, first off, it comes from a holy source. I have a very special guide, if you will. So this information better be used for good purposes, not just for self-interest, right? And the way that you guarantee that it's not being done just for self-interest is to follow the rule of karma. The rule of karma is the entire reason for this channel. This takes all of my time to put this information out. I don't need to put it out here. Sure as hell don't need to put it out here for free. let alone sit on a live when I could be fulfilling orders that I virtually have no time to fill. So when somebody constantly asks questions and I don't see like a rule of karma payment from them once, that's vampiric, my friends. Vampiric people will not be, I won't be receptive to them. Like I put myself out there first with the expectation that they'll follow through. So at first it may seem as though I'll do that, but if the individual isn't following through on the one purpose that I keep keep specifying to people is the whole purpose of this channel, is the rule of karma. If they're not following it, don't be that person, please. Like, I'm gonna lose interest and eventually I'll lose patience in the individual, because it's literally vampiric what you're doing. This takes so much discipline. I have to eat a certain way, I have to sleep a certain way, I can't have certain people within my domain, I can't have sex, okay? I can't eat meat, I don't drink. These are all things that I do for the intent of bringing this information to the public for free. Try living like that for just a day. It's not an easy accomplishment, let alone to do it every single day. So with that in mind, asking questions and not reciprocating and expecting me just to continue answering those questions, I'm going to get really, really, like, I'm going to lose my patience. And I won't track these individuals down. They know who they are. I'm not going to, like, hunt you down and be like, yo, you didn't pay it. I'm speaking to you right now. I'm just not identifying or isolating you. But it's time to change how you're behaving, because I am tired of how you are behaving. I don't need to do this. Follow the rule of karma, or stop asking questions. I'm sorry, Carolyn. I just saw this big. No, I can't do it, Carolyn. I cannot do it. Partially for what I've just been speaking about. But I told you once before, if I do that for you, I have to do it for everyone. There's plenty of people on here that will just come on and just ask me a bunch of questions repeatedly, expect answers, and then I see nothing. I don't care about, like, if I wanted to make profits, I'd be trading this information like all the time. But I'm not. What I want is good deeds put into the world, and to be able to pay my bills. That's just as important, because if I can't pay my bills, how can I bring this information to the world and have people creating good deeds? That's what it's about for me. That's what it's important. When I see an individual doing that, they become one of my favorite individuals. When I see them a lot, and when it comes time for me to look through that list of people following the rule of karma to make that shout out at the beginning of the month, and they're not on it, it's like shocking. Like, even if you're purchasing something, guys, the compensation for the services that I'm providing is nowhere near a reflection of what they're worth. Everything on this website is going for way lower than it should be priced, because I expect a 5% return from individuals utilizing the information. A stockbroker would take your money whether or not you made any, and they take it up front. A stockbroker can have sex, they can drink, they can do all these things. They can be wrong and still make money. Don't use a stockbroker, guys, like, ever. They're trained in one thing, to push stocks. They don't even do the research. So just to make it clear, paying for services is not the same as following the rule of karma. The rule of karma is part of the agreement of utilizing this information, whether or not you choose to purchase something. If you choose to purchase something, that does not mean you don't follow the rule of karma, because what did I say my purpose for this channel is? People doing good deeds, putting good deeds into the world. This stuff being used for more than just self-interest. I will make sure that that's how it's being used. You better believe me. So there's my spiel. There was more people on for that. We're still up pretty solid on SPC, but like I said, there would be a little bit of a turnaround, right? So that's what we've pretty much seen. Why is it frozen? Right, when we got up here, we started kind of like doing this little turnaround. We had an opportunity here, just under $5. It actually aggravates me that I even have to have that conversation. Like, I don't like to be sound like an authority figure. I don't like to be a cop. I expect people to just follow through on what they do. I'm following through to the best of my ability on my end, putting forth my faith in individuals. I don't like that I have to have this conversation. It doesn't make me feel good inside. And if I don't feel good inside, there's something wrong going on. So, you know, it almost makes me resent the individuals that have me having this conversation. SPC for a buy and hold. So. I also left out earlier, I was speaking about how this 12th, 13th, I have a higher probability than normal to be wrong here. Does that mean I'm wrong? No. It doesn't mean I'm wrong for sure, but there's a higher chance of me being off here on the 12th, 13th because there's a lot of conflicting energy here. A lot of conflicting energies going on the 13th. I know for sure this is a pivot point. I just hope I'm not wrong about the direction, and there's some reasons why I think maybe it could be. But in any case, following on this plan, I would look to open up a long position here on the 13th. You could do a day trade there on the 13th. And then probably the most reliable time to open up a position, and by that I mean like you won't like immediately the following day be like, oh my god, no, why did I do that? Is here on the 24th, 27th. There's a decline on the 24th into the 27th. And I would use that as an opportunity to open up a long position. Whether or not I choose to do so here on the 13th, whether or not I'm right about it on the 13th, this looks like a safe opportunity here on the 24th, 27th in the midst of a decline into a trough to open up a long position. Hope that helps. So we were pretty solid on these. I was off by a day, but you can see it's kind of in the orb. That's why I always do like an orb rather than just like a line for one day. I do an orb because you have to give it a little wiggle room. So we went up to roughly this price level, and then we came back down to roughly this price level. I think we probably see lower tomorrow before we come back up into this range. Oh, we should mark off unicursal here as well. In any case, I think it's probably going to be like... something like that. This is also a difficult reading, being that the high and low correlations are for the trade opportunity and nowhere else. That would lead me to believe that probably we see high and low correlator. We should see a high and a low both like within... We might see a high and a low twice even, but we should see a high and a low within here, like somewhere in this price range, like this time frame between like 10 and 1 o'clock. We should see both the high and the low, is my sense. Matter of fact. I think it's probably here. So disregard the 10 to 1. I would say it's probably here in between the pre-market and we have a high, and then probably into the low. Let's do this. So between the open and 1, we should see both the high and the low. That's my sense. And that'll be a lower price level most likely than what we see today. MGM. I thought I had, here, we have it out. Alright, cool. See, this is part of why I feel like maybe I'm off on the SPCs. Because, right, like, MGM has highs here on the 13th, 14th, SPY does, like, there's some funkiness going on with the SPC around that time. Interesting. I'm curious to see what it ends up being, but I know it will definitely be a pivot point, so whatever direction we go into for SPC on the 14th, we should see a pivot point there. MGM short on the 15th, yes, short on the 15th. You could also short it on the... This is S, why is this still SPY? That's so annoying. All right. So I'm not sure if we're gonna see this trough here on the 8th. We may be seeing the trough now. It's possible. It's somewhere between the 7th and the 8th because there's a little bit of a rally here on the 8th. As far as a short, matter of fact, I would say the short is on the 15th. It looks like in the midst of a decline, one might open up a long position and close that long position probably the following day, and then open up a short position for a day trade on the 16th. On a long-term scale, like more than just like an overnight scale, you could open up a short position there, and hold it here. You could hold it probably until, I would say you don't want to hold it to here because there's no trade opportunity really, or the 29th. You could hold it till the 23rd or the 29th. I don't like this prudence card as a place to trade. Like I said, prudence, I try to avoid trading. I'm not sure why you're saying lowest low on 6th, 7th, Carolyn. I don't have an indication of a lowest low here on the 6th or the 7th. I see a lowest low here. Lowest low here, most likely. The 10th, the 11th. Yeah, we should see lower here on the 10th, 11th. If at some point I said 6th or 7th, I must have been speaking about a different stock, because there's nothing here to indicate either a high or a low of any kind. It's just, there's a trough here, but it's not like, there's no highest high or lowest low information here. establish something in here, and then let's narrow this down. That's MGM. Get these out of the way. There's a unicursal at the end of the day, so we could drop pretty hard here overnight. It's a possibility. We already saw quite a bit of a decline throughout the day, so that's unicursal energy. But still, I feel like at the very end of the day, there was like this opportunity, a little poke of an opportunity. Let's see. Yeah, see that little poke of an opportunity before more decline. In any case, let's see. So that puts us like. Yeah, there's probably a really big move here on the 10th to the upside, guys. And there's somebody speaking between the 9th and the 10th, probably at the after the close on the 9th, after hours kind of time. And it's going to be kind of deceptive what they're speaking about. Big move to the upside. That deceptiveness probably creates this big move to the upside, and then we have this high-ish kind of thing going on here. My sense is we've probably seen pretty close to where the high is already. Alright guys, with that said, thank you so much for watching, my friends. You know, make sure to follow that rule of karma, guys. That's what it's about for me. I'm putting all of my time, my effort, and my heart and soul into this information to bring it to you guys. And to not see the rule of karma being followed, it's very disappointing. So please, follow the rule of karma, my friends. Be one of those good individuals